Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Excuse my voice, I'm fighting some kind of head cold, sinus bullcrap, but here's the next vehicle up on the chopping block. This is the infamous Trailblazer SS, and it's got some motor work, built trans, I'll get into that, but these beautiful boxes right here, Huron Speeds, baby. Gonna be putting a big single turbo on this rig. Right now it's got a 6.2 bottom end aluminum block with ported PRC LS3 heads on it and a chop monster cam with a converter. So he built it to be just a fun NA rig. You can barely see it. There's some long tube headers down there, but LS3 intake manifold. So he built it to be a fun, choppy, rear wheel drive, not all wheel drive, just street, you know. Sound good, spin the tires, have fun, look good. But Huron Speed had a sale on their single turbo kits, and the customer could not resist. But I completely understand. I mean, I love turbos. So I'm excited. I can't wait to get this thing ripped apart and have a big old fat, I believe it's S475 sitting right here, making some boost and burning some tires, baby. Let's go. Here's a little update. As you saw in the time lapse, pulled the battery, some of the cooling lines, some of the AC lines, the passenger side coil packs, and all the exhaust manifold bolts. And I got the Trailblazer up on the lift. I'm gonna get underneath it, pull all the old exhaust off, get everything ready for this beautiful Huron Speed hot side to go on. I'm gonna tackle the hot side first. Freaking turbo is massive. But got the Turbo Smart boost controller, wastegate, blow off valve from Huron, and their full hot side kit. This stuff is so beautiful. But the kit did not come with turbo feed or turbo drain, so I'm gonna have to fabricate those and find out where I'm get the pickups from and mounting the boxes. Got the cold side kit unwrapped in here just to get inventory on everything I have and what I need. But I'll update y'all soon. I got the driver's side out, as well as the crossover and the Y-pipe adapter. I was forewarned about this. I was hoping I could get around it, but see, you got it disconnected. The passenger side is going to be a bit of a pain. I don't know why it won't focus. Anyway, up there, it's hard to see, but this truck has 6-bolt heads. Come on, focus. There we go. You can see them. So it had those little humps right there. So that right there in between the spark plugs, those are the extra bolts for the 6-bolt heads, and the spark plugs are hitting on the header flange up there, so there's no way to get it out. So I took the bottom 2 nuts, it's really hard to see right there, off of the engine mount. So I'm gonna have to lower the Trailblazer and get up in there, take the spark plugs out of the passenger side, which they need to be taken out anyway to go for a colder heat range plug. And then I'm going to put a jack under the engine block and jack up the passenger side until I can slip the header out the bottom. Once I do that, I'll come back down with it. And assembling this, I'll put the driver's side on first with the new gasket and the new bolts, and then put the passenger side from the top, because this actually sits in the engine bay up like this. The turbo is going to mount right there, and this is where the crossover mounts. Your crossover come from driver's side, connecting right here in this V-band, crosses over into the passenger side, and then it actually meets with the passenger side exhaust in this log. Turbo connects here, wastegate goes here, dumps back into the downpipe with the expansion joint. It's a pretty strict setup, but it's a bit of a pain to get into. The engine bay on these are super tight, and in the instructions it also says the bumper's got to come off for the intercooler, and then actually have to trim some of the inner fender liner with the grinder on the passenger side and tweak some of the AC lines. But I'll update y'all as I get some more progress. Got the old exhaust off completely. The spark plugs are out. The intake's off. Battery's out. I had to pull the oil fill cap. This cooler line fitting broke previously. When it came to me, it was already broken. I got to replace that. Had to bend the AC line out of the way, which the instruction said the kit's gonna need bending for the turbo kit to fit. I mocked up the passenger side. Everything fits as it should. The driver's side, I'm gonna have to go in from the bottom, so I'll do the crossover and all that while I'm underneath it. This AC line's pulled out, and had to pull the bumper cover and then the front crash bar out so that we can fit the intercooler. All right, I'm back. I just got off the phone with the customer. I spoke to him about the turbo oil drain, and we were trying to decide if we were gonna do in the pan or if we were gonna do in the timing cover. And after a little back and forth talking, we decided that we're gonna go with the timing cover. So shop, and I'm gonna get radiator hoses pulled off, pull the radiator and the fans out, get the water pump off, pull the balancer and then pull the timing cover off. And instead of buying a timing cover that's already done, I'm going to modify the factory one and do a drain bung in the cover instead of spending the extra money for one that's already done. And in the meantime, after I finish off with that and we're waiting on parts to come in, we get over here on the bottom side of the block. They have the factory connection to do an oil filter adapter or oil cooler. So I'm gonna pull those plugs off, and I ordered a plate to go there that is gonna be our oil feed supply for the turbo. So I'll put in all the removal of this and then probably do a part 2 whenever parts get here and we decide to go back together. Got the timing chain cover out, so we're going to take, and right here in this flat spot we're going to be putting a drain for the turbo. So I'm going to drill and tap this, use some PTFE thread sealant, and we're going to orientate it to where the 90 is facing kind of that way so that it can come up and clear this AC bracket right here, and then that line is going to come right up and the turbo should be sitting roughly right here. So it'd be a straight shot right down into the oil pan. And then I'm gonna have to check the clearance on the back. I'll probably end up getting in here with my body saw or something and chopping the drain flush with this. That way it doesn't interfere with the oil pump or anything like that down there. So I think the next step, I'm going to pull the harness off of the top and get the valve covers off, get the rockers off, because the truck has the wrong length push rods in it, so I gotta measure and get the right ones for that order. I got all the push rods pulled out. The rockers are just sitting on there. I checked one of the rockers on base circle, and I got my push rod length checker right here. This is the set length for 0 lash. So I'm gonna find out what lifters are in here and then measure this, get my correct preload, and then order the push rods that fall within that window. I'm gonna run the rockers back down and then put the covers back on. That way no dust or anything gets in there while we wait. And then I went ahead and just set that back on there, the timing cover. While we wait, we're gonna get a bunch of parts ordered, and then I'll post an update video of part 2 and we'll continue on with this build. So thank y'all for watching.